Hello class, today we are going to talk about adding and subtracting integers. There are a few different ways to model integer addition. The first model we are going to use is using tiles. We want to model -3 plus 5. Since we're starting off with -3, we're going to pull 3 negative tiles into our box. We want to add +5 to our -3, so now we're going to pull in 5 positive tiles. Looking at the tiles we pulled into our work area, we notice that we have 3 pairs of positive and negative numbers. These are called zero pairs. They cancel each other out. When we remove our zero pairs from our workspace, our answer is what is left. So let's go ahead and remove our zero pairs. After removing all of our zero pairs, we notice we have 2 positive tiles left. That means our answer is +2. Now that we've gone through one example using tiles to model integer addition, I'd like you to try a few problems on your own. Use the plus sign to model +1 and the negative sign to model -1. Please take a moment to pause your video and try these 3 problems on your own. After completing the 3 problems, please resume the video to see how well you have done. Looking at the first problem, we have 3 negatives and we're adding 4 negatives to it. When we count up how many negatives we have in the end, we have -7. For the second problem, we have 2 plus 7. We have 2 positives to start with, and we add 7 positive to it. We count them up, and we have 9. With the last example, we start with 5 positives, and we're adding 8 negatives to it. This creates 5 zero pairs that cancel each other out, so we cross them out and they go away. We are left with 3 negatives, so therefore our answer is -3. Another method for adding integers is using a number line. Remember, when using a number line, if you go to the right, you're going in the positive direction, and if you move to the left, you're moving in the negative direction. Let's try evaluating -3 plus 2. We're going to start at -3, so let's put a dot on -3 at our number line. We are adding 2 to it. Since we're adding +2, we'll go 2 units to the right. 1, 2. When we do this, we land on -1. Therefore, the answer to -3 plus 2 is -1. Let's try one more example together. Let's try 9 plus -4. Again, we're starting at 9, so we're going to put a dot above 9 on our number line. We're adding -4. Since this time we're adding a negative number, we'll go 4 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time we land on 5. That means our answer to 9 plus -4 is 5. Now I'd like you to take a moment to evaluate -6 plus 4 and 5 plus -8 on your own. Remember to record these examples in your notes and to use the number line if you find it helpful. After you've tried these few problems, please resume the video to see how well you have done. Please take a moment to look at your work and compare it to mine. How did you do? Did you get the same answers? If not, what do you think you might have done wrong? If you did not get the same answers, it is very possible that you moved in the wrong direction. Remember, if you're adding a positive number, to go to the right, and if you're adding a negative number, go to the left. Before we talk about subtracting integers, I'd like to talk about the definition of additive inverses. Additive inverses are 2 numbers whose sum is 0. Please take a moment to pause the video and write down the definition of additive inverses in your notes. Now I'd like to take a moment to try to find a few additive inverses. The additive inverse of 3 is negative 3. The additive inverse of negative 5 is 5. And the additive inverse of negative 9 is positive 9. Do you notice anything similar to additive inverses and another definition word we learned earlier in this unit? The additive inverse of a number is the same as its opposite. Please take a moment and find the additive inverse of the following three numbers below. The additive inverse of negative 6 is positive 6. The additive inverse of 4 is negative 4. And the additive inverse of 296 is negative 296. You actually already know how to subtract integers. To subtract an integer, add its opposite. Please take a moment to pause this video and write down how to subtract an integer. Let's try a few problems together. The first problem is 3 minus 7. The opposite of 7 is negative 7, so therefore it means this problem is the same as 3 plus negative 7. The sum of 3 and negative 7 is negative 4. The next problem is 4 minus negative 6. The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. Therefore, it means this problem is the same as 4 plus 6. The sum of 4 and 6 is 10. The last problem is negative 4 minus 8. The opposite of 8 is negative 8. So that means this problem is the same as negative 4 plus negative 8. The sum of negative 4 and negative 8 is negative 12. Please take a moment to read the three problems below. Please record these three problems as well as your answers in your notes and come to class prepared to discuss your answers.